Marietta College. $1,200 of your closest friends across 100 acres. This is home.
Coming up today on NewsCenter 15, virtual adoption of an axolotl,
and a little history behind Cyber Monday.
We'll have these stories and more. NewsCenter 15 starts now. Good afternoon and welcome to Tuesday's edition of NewsCenter 15. I'm Jalen Kiero Gordon.
And I'm Grant Moore.
Topping our news this afternoon, Ohio's new constitutional protections for abortion access and other reproductive rights take effect December 7th, a month after voters resoundingly passed them. How and when their impacts are felt remains unclear. Existing abortion-related lawsuits are moving again through the courts since voters decided the issue, raising questions about implementation. The amendment voters approved November 7th did not repeal any existing Ohio laws relating to abortion or reproductive rights. That has prompted some anti-abortion activists to step up pressure on Republicans elected officials to extend their efforts to halt, delay, or significantly water it down. It passed with a strong 57% majority of the vote.
Consumers are scouring the internet for online deals as they begin to cap off the 5-day post-Thanksgiving shopping extravaganza with Cyber Monday, even though e-commerce is now part and parcel of everyday lives. Cyber Monday, a term coined back in 2005 by the National Retail Federation, continues to be the biggest online shopping day of the year. Adobe Analytics expects consumers to spend between $12 billion and $12.4 billion on Monday, making it the biggest online shopping day of all time. For several major retailers, the Cyber Monday sale is a day-long event that began over the weekend. Consumer spending for Cyber Week, the 5 days between Thanksgiving and Monday, provides a strong indication on how much shoppers are willing to spend during the holidays.
Let's take a quick look at the current conditions.
Here to provide the first look at the weather is Landon.
Thanks a lot, Grant. Well, coming off the shopping bonanza that was Black Friday weekend, the holiday season is in full swing, and this week feels like it's the first real week of winter we've had since winter began. Right now it feels like 25 degrees outside with a very low UV index and good air quality and an extremely low pollen count of 0.1. So that's a good thing. The winds will be they'll be very cold, but the winds will be running around 11 miles per hour with a relatively moderate humidity of 67%. We had a little bit of snow flurry start up earlier this morning, so that could be where the humidity rise came from. And it is pretty cold outside right now, but as the week continues, it'll start getting a little bit warmer before another cool down starting on Friday. But we'll talk a little bit more about that when I return later on for the 5-day forecast and a less than stellar start to the month of December. But until then, back to you guys at the desk.
You can now virtually adopt an axolotl. Ecologists from Mexico's anonymous university relaunched a fundraising campaign to bolster conservation efforts for axolotls, an endangered fish like salamander. The campaign is called Adopt Axolotl and allows for people to virtually adopt an axolotl for $35. Adoption comes with live updates on axolotl's health. For less, you can buy a dinner for one last year. This campaign raised over $26,300 despite the creature's recent rise to popularity. Almost all 18 species in Mexico remain critically endangered. A recent study found less than 1,000 Mexican axolotls left in the wild. Scientists are hoping this campaign will help them in their efforts to save the axolotl.
Merriam-Webster announced the word of the year for 2023 as authentic. We see in 2023 a kind of crisis with authenticity. Editor-at-large Peter Soliski said Merriam-Webster entry for authentic is busy with meaning. There's also not false or intimidation. There's true to one's own personality, spirit, or character. There's worthy of acceptance of or belief as conforming to or based on fact. There's made or done the same way as an original. And perhaps the most telling, there's conforming to an original so as to reproduce some of the other top words in 2023 are Riz, Kimbutz, Implode, Dead Name, Doppelganger, Coronation, Deepfake, Dystopian, Covenant, and Indict.
The NFL is looking to continue Black Friday games.
And the Israel-Hamas truce has reached day 5.
We'll have these stories and more. Stay with us.
At Marietta College, teamwork goes beyond athletics. At Marietta, we promote individuality, creativity, and resilience. Whoever you are, wherever you're from, we are Pile Nation. This is the time, this is the place. We are pioneers. We are Marietta College.
Hey, this is Kevin Love from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Right now, many of us feel anxious. Mindfulness can help you ease those feelings. My nonprofit is partnering with Headspace to offer free content to help you stress less. Head to kevinlovefund.org/headspace.
Here's to the straggly ones, the first ones. But hey, I look good with this ones. The black, brown, red, and gray ones. The itchy ones. The ones grown by Dad. The ones grown for Dad. The I nearly didn't do it this year ones. And the absolutely filthy ones. They all raise awareness, raise funds, start conversations, and save lives. Because whatever you grow will save a bro. Learn more at Movember.com.
Three people have been killed and 3 more are missing after a landslide ripped through a remote Alaskan fishing community. The landslide late Monday smashed into 3 homes in the Alaska panhandle town of Raglell. The State Department of Public Safety said late Tuesday that a girl was found dead in an initial search and 2 dead adults were found later. 2 children and an adult are missing. Crews are using a cadaver sniffing dog and heat sensing drones to search for them. The village of about 2,000 people are on a remote island in southeast Alaska received about 2 inches of rain just before the slide.
It is not a stretch to say that Black Friday game between the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets is Amazon's Super Bowl. Not only does it get an additional game on Prime Video that it hopes to make into a yearly tradition, but it comes on the busiest shopping day of the year. Hans Schroeder, the executive vice president at NFL Media, said the league has been exploring the possibility of adding a game on Black Friday for a while. The Thanksgiving Day triple header has been among the most watched game during the regular season for the past 2 years. Adding a Black Friday game gives the NFL another day to take over, combine it with it airing on Amazon. It has a match made in football and commerce heaven.
It is now the 5th day of the Israel-Hamas truce in Gaza, and more hostages and prisoners are expected to be released Tuesday. This is part of a 2-day extension to a pause fighting. Under this deal, Hamas will release 10 hostages daily, according to a senior Israel advisor, in exchange for Israel releasing Palestinian detainees.
Denver police officers shot a man who had a handgun in his waistband near South Odina Street and Lettsdale Drive. Officers saw a truck with its doors open and music blaring. Denver police said Ron Thomas said in a news conference Monday they approached the truck when they noticed a man throwing things from the truck into the trash can. Officers noticed a handgun in the man's waistband. Officers claimed that the made threatening statements and threatening motion.
Coming up next, the pandas are coming back to America.
Tyler will have the latest news on the issue.
And while the holiday season is in full swing, the month of December is going to have a bit of a wet and rainy start. More on that when I return for the 5-day forecast after this.
When kids need medical care, they face life-changing experiences. They miss out on the things that make being a kid fun. Starlight Children's Foundation programs entertain and inspire hospitalized kids. Learn more at starlight.org.
There's a place for everyone at Marietta College. Our place is here as esports competitors. This is Marietta College Esports.
We now turn to Tyler, who has the story.
Chinese President Xi Jinping is signaling that China will send new pandas to the United States. Xi calls pandas envoys of friendship between the Chinese and American people. During a speech before business leaders Wednesday, Xi said China is ready to continue its cooperation with the U.S. on panda conversation.
华盛顿国家动物园的3只大熊猫回到中国。我听说很多美国民众，特别是孩子们依依不舍，专门到动物园去送行。我还了解到圣达哥动物园和加州人民热切期盼大熊猫能重返加州。大熊猫是 中美人民的友谊使者，我们愿意继续同美国开展大熊猫保护合作。
The comment came at the end of a day on which Xi and President Joe Biden held their first face-to-face meeting in a year and pledged to try to reduce tensions. Xi did not share details on when or where pandas might be provided. There are only 4 pandas left in the United States, located in the Atlanta Zoo. That's all I have in the world of pandas. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Tyler. Next up, the details on how you can see some big movies from Hollywood. We have entertainment suggestions no matter what the weather.
Zach has the details in today's Hollywood Minute.
If you are up for heading to the theater, one big one to see is Nicolas Cage's latest film, Dream Scenario, which finds him playing the man of many people's dreams, basically. His character finds his life turned upside down when millions of strangers suddenly start seeing him in their dreams. If the weather or a full belly keeps you from leaving the house this holiday season, there's plenty to watch at home, including one of the biggest films of the year, Oppenheimer, which is a favorite for multiple top Oscar nominations. You can now find it on 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray, and digital platforms. The Fugitive, starring Harrison Ford, was one of the biggest hits of 1993, and it won co-star Tommy Lee Jones the Best Supporting Actor Oscar. Director Andrew Davis says that the film's enduring appeal is that audiences really care about the journey of Harrison being accused unjustly. This creates great empathy for him, and the iconic thriller is now out on 4K Ultra HD. And finally, Nicholas Michael McGovern stars in Liberty, as a park guide who captures and cages 6 strangers to show them in the world what animals experience in captivity. The environmental thriller is available now on VOD. I'm Zach. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks for a look at Hollywood, Zach.
We'll head to Landon now for a look at the extended weather forecast.
Well, as you can see here in the west of the country, we're not really experiencing much action. Most of the precipitation is on the east end of the country. Warm spots, of course, in the Gulf of Mexico, around the south and the west and the east, just off the coasts of Virginia and New York. And most of the snow is experiencing in our surrounding states, coming in the northern area from the Great Lakes and the Canadian provinces of Winnipeg and Quebec. As we get closer to the regional map, you can see that we've been surrounded a bit by some random snow flurries, including some we had earlier this morning around the state of Ohio. Most of it is in the middle of West Virginia right now, so things are relatively calm right now. And unfortunately, I have to say that it doesn't look like that snow is going to stick, if that's what any of you were thinking, because we're going to be experiencing a bit of a warm-up as the week continues. Well, that's not going to be apparent tomorrow. We have partly cloudy conditions with an expected high of 38, and that warm spell will drastically come on Thursday with a high of 50 and cloudy conditions. And then, as I said, the month of December, starting on Friday, will have a wet and dreary start with a high of 46 and rainy conditions. Temperatures going back up as the weekend continues on Saturday with an expected high of 55, mostly cloudy conditions. So the rain won't last long, very fortunately. And then the temperatures will start going down for the churchgoers on Sunday with a high of 48 and cloudy conditions. So, yeah, weather-wise, things are really starting to feel like winter, even if it doesn't look a lot like Christmas yet. But we've still got a couple more weeks until that second biggest holiday boom of the year comes into full swing. As you can see, I'm already prepared for it, and I hope you all are getting ready to spend some lovely quality time with your friends and family this holiday season. We'll talk a little bit more about that when I return later on at the end of the program, but until then, happy holidays, and back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Landon. When we come back, Lee will have the latest in the world of sports.
Stay with us.
James Brown and Bill Cowher welcoming you back to the Midnight Snack Run.
This is one tricky obstacle course.
He's reaching, but he pushes it away. He's approaching a plate of iced cookies. He blows right by him.
Oh, the fridge.
Looks like he's headed for the soda. Wait, he jukes left, grabs the water bottle.
Now he's just got to get out of there.
Look what dropped from the sky.
Don't do it, Dennis. That's the way you execute a Midnight Snack Run.
Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer.
Go to takeahealthystand.org.
Did you know that over 700 kids enter the foster care system every day?
700?
700.
Just talking about foster care can help foster care.
Okay, let's try this.
Donate your small talk.
And now we're back with Lee for a look at sports.
Tell us what's been happening, Lee.
Thanks, guys. I'll give you the rundown now. First, the Ohio State Buckeyes got handed their first loss of the season by the Michigan Wolverines on Saturday. After the game, many of Buckeye Nation are calling for head coach Ryan Day to be fired. With Day being placed on the hot seat by the Buckeye faithful, it will be interesting to see how it will unfold for Ohio State going into the end of this season and the start of next season. Next, the Pittsburgh Steelers are finally able to go over 400 yards on offense Sunday as they beat the Bengals 16-10. Kenny Pickett has a solid day throwing the ball. Pickett had 248 yards passing, and Najee Harris also put in a good day rushing. He ran for 99 yards on 15 attempts and 1 touchdown. Pittsburgh's leading receiver was Pat Fryerman, as he had 9 receptions for 120 yards. The Steelers will be back in Pittsburgh on Sunday as they look to keep the winning going as they play the Arizona Cardinals at 1 p.m. Lastly, moving into the basketball world, the Cleveland Cavaliers faced off against the Toronto Raptors on Sunday. Darius Garland had 24 points and 8 assists, and Max Strus scored his 20 points in the third quarter, helping Cleveland Cavaliers to a 105-102 victory over the Toronto Raptors. The Cavaliers took their largest lead at 89-77 early in the fourth quarter on a three-pointer by Garland. Dennis Schroeder countered with a three-pointer that pulled Toronto within a 103-102. After, Donovan Mitchell made 2 free throws to extend Cleveland's advantage to 105-102. With 10 seconds remaining, Gary Trent Jr. stepped out of bounds in the corner before getting off a potential tying shot, and the Cavaliers ran out the final ticks. Raptors center Jakob Poeltl set season highs of 18 points and 13 rebounds. The Cavs play tonight against the Atlanta Hawks with tip-off at 7:30. That's all I have from the world of sports. I'm Lee. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Lee. Joining us now at the desk is Landon for our last look at the weather.
Well, for a good chunk of the middle of this week, we're going to be experiencing cooler temperatures ranging from the 20s and 30s before we get a bit of a sharp increase to about 50 degrees in anticipation of the oncoming rain we'll be getting this Friday to start the month of December. But that will also lead to a bit of a cool down as the weekend continues. So even though things are cold outside right now, the little snow we've been getting today and yesterday is unfortunately not going to be sticking, and it seems like it won't be sticking at least for the next couple weeks, but who knows? The December isn't over yet, so who knows? We'll find out what could go on in the next couple weeks. But one thing that is clear right now is that we here at WCMO TV are already in the Christmas spirit. Mm-hmm. Celebrating Christmas is not something we get to do very often here because we're usually done before Thanksgiving.
Right. Yeah, indeed.
You guys looking forward to anything this Christmas season with your families?
I like to have a good time with my family, spend some quality time with them, stay out the cold, get some hot chocolate, and snuggle by the fire. That's it.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Warm and toasty.
About the same for me.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's it for today's broadcast. Thank you for watching. We hope you'll join us Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12:30 to 6:30 for WCMO NewsCenter 15, Marietta College Broadcasting. See you next time.